Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today we find ourselves sitting atop a giant chicken nugget to witness a match between Darknoob playing as the blue Gurjaras and Keno playing as the purple Turks. Now as the players explore their immediate surroundings, herd their herdables, and try to go up to feudal as fast as possible, let's take a look at the respective civ matchup we'll be watching today. Now, the Gurjaras are a civ that focuses on our four-legged friends, the horses and the camels. Now, I say that by process of elimination. Their infantry is terrible, and their archer line is mediocre at best. Now, I say mediocre instead of downright horrible because they do have access to one of my favorite units, the elephant archers. Now, in terms of cavalry, the camel and elephant units are created faster. Mounted units do deal additional bonus damage. Now, keep in mind that this is bonus damage, not regular damage. So it used to be a flat 40% extra bonus, but that was recently nerfed by the latest patch. So now it's 20% extra in feudal, 30% in castle, and 40% in imperial. And their camel and elephant archer lines can be upgraded to get extra melee armor. Now, militarily, that might seem a little bit underwhelming until you get to the Gurjaras' unique units. The first one is the Shrivamsha Rider, which is the absolute bane of every archer civilization. This is a super fast, super versatile cavalry unit that can actually dodge projectiles. Now, the base model dodges 5 projectiles. The elite dodges 7 projectiles. And by the way, that counter, or rather that ability, resets every 20 seconds. Now, their second unique unit is the Chakram Thrower, a unit that literally mows down infantry in clumps by throwing a Xena Warrior Princess disc that goes through multiple units at once. Now, the damage isn't crazy. The base model does 3, the elite does 4, but the pass-through rate is where you get the most damage. It's 100% pass-through rate with a +1 bonus damage against infantry. Now, to help support their military production, the Gurjaras start the game with 2 extra bushes, and another cool feature, they can actually garrison their livestock inside their mill, which auto produces food the second they get in there. And lastly, the Gurjaras can research an upgrade later in the game that reduces the cost of all military units. That's right, all military units by 25%. Now, I should clarify, it reduces the food cost, not the total cost, just the food cost. Now, this is an interesting map. Everyone here started with 5 farms, 2 scout cavalry or camel scouts rather for the Gurjaras. A little partner work here in tandem to herd their herdables. But let's take a look at the Turks while the players continue to build up their bases. Now, I love casting the Turks because it gives me an opportunity to say the following sentence. The Turks are a civilization that is all about one thing, the brown, the saltpeter, you know what I'm talking about, gunpowder. Their gunpowder units are created faster, have extra HP, come with cheaper technologies including chemistry for free, and some of their gunpowder units, like the bombard cannon, can actually be upgraded to give it extra range. Now, anyone who's played Age of Empires and anyone who's tried to produce a gunpowder unit knows how incredibly gold intensive these units are. So to help with their production, Turkish gold miners do work 20% faster. Now, their unique unit needs no introduction. Everyone knows it. We're talking about the Janissary. Basically, a more expensive, less accurate hand cannoneer with more range, more HP, a better attack, and more armor. The only downside to the Janissary compared to the hand cannoneer is that the Janissary does not get a massive attack bonus against infantry like the hand cannoneer does. Now, lest you think that the Turks are all about the gunpowder, remember that they get light cav and hussar upgrades for free, and those units come with extra pierce armor. So the second this civilization hits Castle Age and Imperial, they have access to the top-notch, let's call it the trash line units of cavalry. On top of that, their mounted units can be upgraded to get extra HP. So it'll be interesting to see if Keno goes the more traditional Turkish meta of cavalry archers and heavy cavalry archers. In the meantime, though, let's take a look at the players' bases. Both started with a good chunk of food, 12 berry patches, each one containing 125 food. Okay, we've already got a little bit of action here in the beginning of the game. A lot of stone, easily accessible, not too much gold, easily accessible. although close to the base, there's a lot of gold patches that are up for grabs all over the map, some in the center, some to the side. Now, the map itself, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Let's take a look at what we can expect in terms of aggression. Rush distance, I would say fairly medium length, not too short, not too long. But my God, are there a lot of alleys and pathways and choke points here. This is not an open map. This is not Arabia. This is not Steppe. This is, I would say, what? A mix between Socotra and Black Forest almost. There's a very small field of play on this giant chicken nugget, but the field of play itself is cut off by these just huge clumps of trees. So the interesting thing is, I would normally say, you know, who has the advantage here? I would go into that. I'm not too sure here because in a game like this, usually you want to have very powerful archery or ranged units. Now, where you can either be talking about the elephant archers, we can be talking about the janissaries. In front of those, you want to have a bunch of expendable meat shields, basically trash units. Now, when we're talking about trash units, I don't know who to favor here. I mean, both their infantry is terrible. Neither player here has even the pike upgrade, to be honest. We might have to see light cav against camel riders. I'm not too sure what we're going to see. There's a lot of flexibility here, but whoever comes out with the more powerful ranged unit, and I suspect it might be the Turkish gunpowder unit. Although you know what, never mind. The elephant archer for the Gurjaras is also, I mean, it's fairly weak, but my God, does it have a lot of HP. So it replaces strength with just massive size, and always fun to watch it. For now, both players taking a little bit of shorefish, a little bit of, what is this, snapper is on the menu tonight. Fire galley coming out from our blue Gurjara. Our purple Turk has no military presence on the water whatsoever. Let's see what Darknoob has seen of Keno's base. He has seen a nothing. He's seen one wall, so he must know approximately where the base is, but has not seen it. Our Turk is just now discovering the location of his opponent's base. So Keno's map vision is a little bit better here. I'm going to click on this white tree. It's a birch. Interesting. I thought these were birch. Okay, this is also birch. I guess this is a winter birch. I was going to say maybe the creators of this map, as you can see, it's a mega random map, so I'm not too sure who creates these, if it's fellow players or if it's Microsoft or who. If you know, let me know in the comments below. Always like to give a hat tip where it's appropriate. But I guess the creators of this map, in addition to having everyone start with 2 scout cavalry or camel scouts, also added in a few cool trees, I think. Oh, and there's another stone pile in the back. Okay, so the presence of, how much is this? 6 and 6, so 6 and 5. So 11 stone piles suggests that the developers of this map really were trying to push players into, you know, castles, creposts, donjons, anything and anything that requires stone, maybe even town centers. I'm not going to try to pretend I know what they wanted to do. I can only guess and surmise by what I see out on the map. And Darknoob is taking handy control of the water. I mean, there's one demolition raft coming out for our purple Turk. Which dock is it coming out of, though? Oh, you are way too far from the action, my friend. Okay, he's going to try to lure him in. Let's see if the trap works. Darknoob not paying attention, loses. 1 fire galley. Another one gets severely damaged, but he has 3 still left. And this one needs to either be repaired or... oh, no, it's not going to be repaired. Oh, unless Darknoob doesn't catch it. Okay, never mind. Catches it with the original fire galley. And now our purple Turk has completely given up control of the water. And we know why. He is going up to Castle Age. His opponent, Darknoob, nowhere close. He's got the gold. He's got 450 gold, but he does not have food. He is missing a lot of food. He's building a market. Let's see. Keep an eye on the left side of our screen. See if he balances his economy, which is just a fancy caster way of saying selling some resources to buy food so that he can go up to castle. Okay, Darknoob really putting on the pressure on the water. I think he may have expected a bigger resistance, but our Turkish player, who's going to be in castle in about 30 seconds, decides to forego and says, I'm going to move forward with these villagers. I've got 528 stone in the bank. I've got 8 villagers on stone. Let's see. I wonder what that could mean. I'm being sarcastic. Obviously, he probably wants to plop down a castle somewhere. Keeping these fire galleys distracted is great, but unfortunately for him, Darknoob did not take the bait with all of the fire galleys, so purple has now lost all control of the water. So let's keep an eye out on the land where I guess the majority of the action, if not all the action, is going to take place. Okay, I said he's going to build a castle. He instead chops down a tree so that he can build a castle right in the face of his opponent. I mean, he's seen the other entrances, so he's chosen this place for one reason and one reason only: this gold. So this gold is going to come under attack. Castle's at 40%. That being said, Darknoob is getting some good scouting now that he's managed to finagle his way into this base. I'm not too sure how he did it, where exactly the base is open, that he could do this. In any event, though, this camel is in there, and he's going to see exactly what Keno is doing. Unfortunately for him, what Keno is doing is shoving right into the guts. Oh, fantastic play here. So these 8 villagers are going to go from stone mining to building a castle, back to stone mining so they can build even more castles. I see lots of, flares going down in the water. Gonna ignore that for now, and we've got our first Janissary out, 2 of them rather. And like I said, this is an automatic upgrade to light cavalry. Whenever civilizations... Okay, as I'm about to ramble about civilizations, Darknoob does actually go up to castle. Villager-wise, he is ahead by 7. And he's going to be ahead by even more, although he is supply blocked at 50. Are you going to build a house? We're keeping a zoomed out view here. I'm not too sure where he's... Okay, here we go. 2 houses going down. Not great to get supply blocked, especially when you're under attack and just hit castle. Maybe, you don't really need this many fire galleys once you destroy these docks. But as I was saying, anytime a civilization has an upgrade for free, remember that it's not just the cost of the upgrade that civilization saves. It's also the time that's needed to research that upgrade. So because he's getting light cav and hussar for free, yeah, he saves a lot of time, a lot of resources. I paused here. I thought I'm struggling to understand how our blue Gurjara plans on responding to this. He's building towers to protect this gold, but these towers are going to do nothing against castles. And I mean, these Janissaries can park underneath here all day long. Does he even have a university? He does not have a university, so he cannot research murder holes, even though if you've watched my videos, you know how much I lament the fact that these pro players almost never get murder holes anyway, even if they have a university. And now he's 120 stone away from building another castle. Where are you guys going? Are you going to build a mining camp here to get the gold? No, they bypass the gold. They're going straight. Another town center going down for Darknoob. Another town center going down for Keno. Both players going to go up to 2 town centers. Okay, he's relocating his fishing ships right in front of Darknoob's base. So a very ballsy location for this dock. And both players are now going to be at around the 40 to 45 villager mark. Our purple Turk is getting war galley upgrades. Interesting. I honestly did not expect them to contest the water. Although with only 1 dock, I mean, it's not going to be a really big, it won't be a real big contest. I don't know how many units he's going to be able to pump out of there, but here we go. Shravamsha riders are out. Not too sure I like this. I mean, yes, they'll dodge the projectiles of these. Where are they? Where did you go? Of these Janissaries. But let's see how, at that point, it becomes a game of micro, right? I prefer to use, or I would recommend rather, using the Shravamsha riders as kind of a hit and run, similar to the Custilier. You know, you run in, you avoid the fire, you attack, and then you run out and wait 20 seconds for that feature to recharge. But now he's got to deal with 4 Shravamsha riders at home. How does he deal with it? By completely walling off the southern entrance of his base. And these 4 Shravamsha riders attack on what, an 8? Yeah, an 8. They're not going to do bupkis to this market. And now our Turkish player, my god, has he surrounded and seen everything of his opponent's base. His opponent has still not seen this giant chunk here, does not know that the only thing standing between Keno and a massive amount of rating is one tiny shitty palisade wall with 250 HP. Now these villagers are retreating. I mean, they collected 800 stone. They're deciding to retreat, and here come the fire ships. Now they're going to beat out these fire galleys handily if they ever meet. I mean, these fire galleys are on the other side of the map. You might want to move these, Darknoob. Oh my god, as I said, these towers are not great defense against a castle. I'll leave it to the game to show us if he managed. Yeah, he must have managed to get this tip of the tower here. But here comes Darknoob with a counter castle with a lot more villagers, 13 villagers to the 8. And Shravamsha riders are taking shots, avoiding rather shots, dodging. Sorry. Sometimes I had a exchange with a viewer recently. Oh, he moved the castle back. Okay, so he knew that his opponent was going to finish his castle first. Maybe move these villagers out of the way. Maybe move them to the right. Okay, good. Anyway, I was having a few comments with a viewer who reminded me that halberdiers carry halberds and pikemen carry pikes. And I was just telling him how in the heat of the cast, in the moment when I'm trying to pay attention to, you know, 5 or 6 to 10 different things at once, sometimes I forget words, sometimes I mix up words. If you've seen my cast, you'll know that sometimes I'll highlight this and say food, or sometimes I'll highlight this and say gold. Excuse my mistakes, and if you're looking for a standard of perfection, you might not find it in this channel. In any event, let's have fun as always and keep casting the game. Now we've got 2 opposing castles with equal amounts of HP. What is our blue Gurjara doing? He's doubling down on Shravamsha riders, upgrading his farms. Our purple Turk, though, has no army to speak of. 8 Janissaries, who are, what, right here? 7 and an 8th somewhere on the map. So I'm not too sure. Neither player really committing to any kind of unit just now. As I said, I suspect... Oh. Okay. Putting on a little horse show is our blue Gurjara Darknoob, instead of chasing down villagers. And how many arrows did he take without taking any damage except to the one unit whose ability to dodge has expired? Who's going to get up to Imperial first? Right as I say that, our purple Turk goes up. Our blue Gurjara nowhere close. Although he's got the score lead by a solid 500 points, I suspect because of all the damage he's done with these fire galleys. Is he really ahead in this game? I would say villager-wise, yes. But once this hits Imperial in 2 minutes, he is nowhere close. He needs 1,000 more food. He needs 300 more gold. Once our Turkish player hits Imperial and those heavy Turkish units come out, we're talking about bombard cannons, we're talking about trebuchets, we're talking about elite janissaries. I'm starting to get scared here for our Gurjara player, who is now building armored elephants. So by the time they waddle over, our Turkish player will be an Imperial. So not a terrible response, I guess. But he needs to start amassing his resources ASAP. He needs more on food. How many is only 26 on food? He might want to up that to, you know, the mid 30s, I would say, and probably move his production facilities away from the water. I mean, this is a great location here. I was going to say, as long as he walls off the southern portion. So fantastic here. So this is now a completely untouchable piece of land for our blue Gurjara that he can now exploit to his benefit. He's got stone, he's got gold, he's got food, he's got lumber, everything he wants here. He just needs to survive. Okay, bloodlines, not sure that's really a priority right now. And let's see what he does in 9 seconds when his opponent Keno hits Imperial. What is he gonna do? Okay, he's building more armored elephants. And of course, as I said, immediately when you're watching a pro game, the first person to get to Imperial, the first thing they do is always build a treb. Forging coming down. So now you'll see, does he have any light cav? No, the light cav would have been automatically upgraded. Okay, as I was yammering on about how Darknoob needs to respond. He actually does respond and takes down this castle because, again, neither player has murder holes. So without murder holes, all of these units survive. I mean, even with murder holes, that castle would have gone down, but these Shravamsha riders probably would be half dead, or rather half of them would be dead. Great location for the castle, by the way, to contest 8 different piles of gold here. But what is Darknoob going to do? He's still not going up to Imperial. He is doubling down on Shravamsha riders. Our Turkish player, though, going into camels. Okay, so that's going to be his meat shield. I mean, these Shravamshas are great at raiding, but they do jack against stone structures with, what, 2750 HP, 1800 HP. They still attack on an 8. They're not elite. Yeah, a 9, actually, an 8+1. Okay, but now Darknoob has had enough. Skirts around the southern edge of the castle. He is going to wipe out these Trebs, albeit slowly, and his elephants are going to wipe out this castle. He might lose a bunch of units here, though. These camels get a massive attack bonus against cavalry. He's got to retreat ASAP. And now all the frontal pressure is off of him, so he is free to gather resources. He is going up to 1,000 gold, almost 600 food. So now that he doesn't have to deal with any kind of aggression, he is able to sit back, macro his eco, and try to go up to Imperial, which I assume he's going to do, right? He stopped production of any kind of military. He's going up to 900,000 food and immediately goes up to castle. Yeah. Okay. I didn't see what happened to the other units. Okay. I mean, I would naturally give Shravamsha versus Camel Rider to the camel. But in this quantity of Shravamshas, 18 of them against 9 camels, you know, 2 to 1, not exactly a fair fight. I would give that to the Shravamshas. Okay, and now blue is establishing castles exactly where purple had castles to make sure that purple does not come at him again. But heavy camel upgrade being researched for our Turkish player. The Turks are not a civilization that requires a lot of finesse, unless they go cavalry archers, because cavalry archers always require a good deal of micro, a good deal of strategy, hills, elevations, etc. The army that our Turkish player is building, or rather Keno playing as the Turks, I don't know if Keno is Turkish, this is a brute force army. This is an army designed, not like these guys, to raid the edges of your base and tickle away at HP, etc. This is an army designed to just destroy you. I mean, heavy camels, Janissaries, which I'm assuming at some point, hopefully, we'll get to see elites. And we'll see what our blue player does in 50 seconds. I don't think he researched. I never remember the name of the upgrade. So I'm going to check my notes. I don't think he researched Kshatriyas, rather, which reduces the cost of all his military units, the food cost, by 25%. At least I didn't notice it at the top left. If you did, let me know. But if he did, these camels would be fairly, you know, we're then talking about very similar to Byzantine camels, where you can almost spam them. Okay, he's also going heavy camel. So this is going to be a nice bloody camel fight here on this giant chicken nugget. I mean, these guys are wasting their time. He's got 65 gold. This is a very optimistic attempt at mining some gold here. I think they finished their patch to the north and just auto went to the closest one, but took a few pellets from these Janissaries to the face. As I said, I think this is a waste of time trying to repair this castle. All you're doing is wasting a bunch of gold, stone. And here he comes with his Shravamsha camel army. Why are you engaging? You're 27 seconds away from having these heavies. Okay, don't engage, don't engage, don't engage. Upgrades very much in favor of our blue Gurjara at +2/+2 to the +1/+1 of our our Turkish. And now both players have heavy camels, but what the hell is this? Oh my god. What a traffic jam. Okay, Shravamsha's going around the south. Get a little confused, try to go and attack the camels instead of the bombards, which they should be doing. Oh my god, our Turkish player is cleaning up. I think he had the numbers advantage from the beginning, but he is losing a bunch of these bombard cannons. A bunch of them died, but my god, our Gurjara player basically had his army just reset. His army count is at 16 to the 45 of our Turk. At the end of the game, I'm going to rewind and watch that battle again. That traffic jam was just friggin' atrocious for our blue Gurjara. He should have deleted this stable and just, oh god, that was terrible for him. Yeah, I mean, he's rebuilding. He's going up to 22 camels. He's getting the final defensive upgrade, so his camels are going to be much, much tankier. But my god, where is Frontier Guards? Remember I said how the camels and elephant archers can be upgraded to give them a +4 melee armor? I mean, it's a super expensive upgrade. 1,500 resources, 800 food, 700 gold. He does not have even close to those resources, even though he is mining the gold here to the north. And there's gold here. I mean, reallocate your villagers. You need that +4 melee. Imagine a better upgraded camel with +4 melee armor. They are going to be so much tankier against these Turkish camels. And now he's built a small semblance of an army. I guess 30 army supply to 54. 40 Turkish camels against 29 Gurjara camels, going up to 36 to 42. So he's going to be in a decent spot, actually. 36 to 42 with better upgrades. I don't know who I favor in that engagement, to be honest. I mean, 6 camels when you're talking about 36 and 42 is not a huge difference. As I yammer on, he's going up to 42 to the Turkish 46, 48. So still about the same difference. And let's see a huge, massive engage. This is what we live for as Age of Empires viewers, players, casters, and just lovers of the game. Hard to see blue versus purple, but my god, what a mass of cloaks here. Purple cloaks, blue cloaks, camels making sounds left, right, and center. What an absolute bloodbath here by purple. Oh, he takes this handily. And this might just be GG. Darknoob has no resources to rebuild. Okay, he has no resources to rebuild anything. 300 gold, 500 food. Okay, as I said, I wanted to rewind to 42. And then let's take a look at this last battle as well. So bear with me as I do the reverse Ace Ventura. Put me in, coach. I mean, Keno waited a little bit after this first engage, right? He could have easily just moved in. He lost a lot of his bombards, but he could have replaced them. Okay, so what are we working with here? We've got 20 Gurjara camels, 18 Shravamsha riders, so 38 total cavalry units against the 28 of our Turkish player. Upgrades very much in favor of our blue Gurjara at +2/+2 versus the +1/+1 of our Turk. But our Turk has the backup of 11 Janissaries not elite and 4 bombard cannons here. So 10 extra cavalry, 10 fewer, but 11 Janissaries. So let's see how this battle progresses. He wisely waits. I think these elephants are probably just here to be meat shields. Not that our blue player has any ranged units himself to take advantage of a meat shield. But look at this. He's just stuck between these two stables. What the hell? Oh my god. What an ugly engage here for Darknoob. My god, just delete your stables. All the while, these bombard cannons on the left are just shelling the shit out of his camels and his Shravamshas. Okay, so they disengage. They're going to get 3 bombard cannons, as we saw. But in the meantime, 25 camels to 15, the same 10 camel difference here. Rather, the same 10 cavalry difference. Except these 11 Janissaries are now dealing with these Shravamshas, which are evaporating under the Turkish gunpowder. And my god, did our Turk take that battle, that fight handily. Darknoob was wise to retreat with 9 camels left. You know, there's no need for him to have wasted those, especially with you know, he obviously wanted to rebuild, and so saving 9 is better than saving 0. Otherwise it would be just GG. But these villagers now die, so his gold count is going to go from 23 villagers to 15 once these all die. And now Keno is doing him a huge favor by deleting these structures. Why, God, what a horrible engagement here for Darknoob. As I said, when you're engaging into choke points, the player with the stronger ranged unit wins. And when you're comparing Janissaries to invisible units that don't exist here for Darknoob, the Janissaries will win. Darknoob had no ranged units to pick off the camels while his Shravamshas and camels were engaging into them. And let's take a look at that last engagement as well. Okay, so he brings up a few monks, or one monk rather. That monk gets sniped immediately, big surprise. So now we're working with 40 camels sitting at a +2/+3 against 46 camels at a +1/+2. So extra damage being done and less damage being taken by the better unit, which is the blue Gurjara camel. Unfortunately, he never dealt with these 11 Janissaries, which have amassed 22 kills. But the structures are gone. So let's see what happened in this engage. Okay, blue is shoving up the guts. Not really fanning out his units. Okay, beautiful surround by blue. But again, great game sense by purple to use this gold patch here to the south to create another choke point here. And take a look at his Janissaries. They're firing right into this choke point. And now they're firing left. One big bombard cannonball from the right side. Landing. And I think the Janissary support and the bombard cannon, whatever little damage it did, basically won him the day here. His units, I don't think he had that significant of a unit advantage to counter the quality. I think the Janissaries really, let's see, they started 22, they got 28, so they killed 6 camels. So they knocked down the number advantage here, or rather they they expanded the number advantage even more for our purple Turk, who took the game. Let's take a look at the stats. Okay, not a lot of camel riders, fairly average APM, so a low kind of intensity game. In terms of kills, yeah, our Gurjara player only killed 61 to the 127 of Keno, so no surprise that Keno gets the W here. Let's take a look. I always like to see when I'm casting a Turk, I want to see how much gold he mined. Surprisingly even on gold and stone, with advantage actually going to our Gurjara player. So very interesting. I just by virtue of these terrible engages, I wish our Gurjara player had the time and the resources to upgrade these camels to give them +4. Imagine a 7 melee armor on these camels. They would destroy the Turkish camels, even with the 11 Janissaries in support. But he did not have the resources. As I mentioned, because it's such a good upgrade, it does cost a shit ton of resources, 1,500 overall, 800 food, 700 gold. He did not have the time. He did not have the resources. He did not even have the villagers needed to even get there. And, you know, ended up losing not only the water control, although, you know, neither player really has fishing ships. So I would say there is no water control because water is a non-factor. But the chicken nugget battle here on land goes firmly in favor of Keno. Brilliant use of choke points here to the south. And here, when these two stables were blocking, terrible engages by Darknoob. Terrible. I think they could have been a bit more even, which would have given him a bit more time to mine more gold. But overall, 2 really bad engagements give Keno the big W. But oh, yeah, GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.